Live from the BDN Studios, it's Bang and Dang.
That's awesome.
If you don't like that, then
You ain't black.
Oh, here we go. It's time once again for Serial Killer of the Month on Outlaws and Gunslingers this time. You click the title, you know we're talking about the old Torso Killer, a.k.a. the Times Square Ripper.
ooh,
Since he did some mutilation of these bodies. Yeah, this guy was a sicko.
what's up about the serial killers in the late 60s and 70s, dude?
That was the time,
Was
man.
that LCD, LSD,
That was the
LCD?
60s through the 90s were like serial killer fucking time.
It's true.
Or highly publicized because there's still serial killers going on to this day.
Right.
Richard Francis Cottingham, convicted in New York of 6 murders, committed between 72 and 80, and convicted in New Jersey of 12 murders. Like I said, nicknamed by the media as a torso killer and the Times Square Ripper. Most newsworthy one that actually got him attention. Yeah, quite the scene in a hotel room, which we'll get to, and you'll see that hotel room was pretty favored by this guy. He was just a weirdo. He's one of those categorized as when we did the introduction episode to this as he's a thrill killer. He does it for excitement. No other fucking motivation for this guy.
Okay.
All right, you guys already know the details. All our information down in the description. Give us a like, subscribe, share us with your friends.
Those got to be the most dangerous ones.
Just do it for fun, man.
They ain't going to do anything.
Right,
Ooh.
like mutilate and cut off heads.
Yeah.
Yep. Richard Cottingham, born November 25th, 1946, in the Mott Haven neighborhood of the Bronx, New York. He was the first of 4 children. In 1948, his family moved to Dumont, New Jersey, and in 56 to Rivervale, New Jersey, where he began his fascination with bondage pornography.
Whoa.
Where the hell are you getting bondage pornography at in 1956?
Right.
According to him, the whole idea of bondage had aroused and fascinated me since I was very young.
Oh, wow.
Cottingham had a close relationship with his mother growing up, but reportedly had difficulty making friends as a teenager, don't they all? He took an interest in homing pigeons and tinkering around the house and yard with his mother. In 1964, he graduated from Pascack Valley High School in Hillsdale, New Jersey. His graduation yearbook stated that Cottingham was a member of the school's cross-country and track team, though.
Look at this guy.
Little solo sports. Don't have to talk to nobody.
Right.
Really?
Well, after he graduated Cottingham, he worked for Metropolitan Life, where his father was a vice president.
Jeez.
He started in the mailroom, as they usually do, at the firm's Manhattan headquarters, and eventually he became a mainframe computer operator upon taking computer courses. October 1966, he became a computer operator for the Blue Cross Blue Shield Association. Oh, wow. Where he worked until his 1980 arrest.
Dude's getting all this money and everything, and still is like, I got to kill people.
And he's
Still
working.
live a good life.
And he's working like and he went to the medical part.
Right.
Jeez, I wonder all kinds of stuff he's seen doing the computer work. Probably all kinds of like weird autopsies and shit.
Right.
At Blue Cross, Cottingham worked in an office with Rodney Alcala, a fugitive child molester. I know, no. And also a serial killer who lived in New York under the alias John Berger. Neither man claimed to have been aware of the other, nor is there any evidence that they're even familiar with each other prior to their respective arrests. No shit.
One of those coincidences.
Ain't that weird? And they both work at Blue Cross Blue Shield, huh?
May 3rd, 1970, Cottingham was married at Our Lady of Lourdes Church in Queens Village, Queens.
Okay.
He had 3 children, 2 boys and a girl, with his wife. April of 78, his wife filed for divorce on the grounds of abandonment and mental cruelty.
Wow.
After he reportedly refused to have sex with her after the birth of her 3rd child, staying out until early morning and leaving her with insufficient household funds.
Oh, shit.
His wife withdrew the petition upon his arrest in May 80, then completed the divorce after his 1981 conviction.
Okay. Cottingham, he was arrested on several lesser charges throughout his killing spree. Wow. Police were not even aware of his murders at the time he was arrested, obviously, nor were they even aware that a serial killer was even active in the tri-state area. October 3rd, year 1969, Cunningham, he was charged and convicted of drunk driving in New York City and fined $50. August 21st, year 1972, he was charged again and convicted of shoplifting at Stern's department store in Paramus, New Jersey. He was sentenced to pay a $50 fine or 10 days in jail.
See, shoplifting and drunk driving were the same amount of fine. Just September 4th.
Back then, you can fight the cops.
Oh, that's true, right?
Or they'll take you home if they know you.
Right. Like, come on, Jerry, sleep it off.
Right.
On September 4th, 1973, he was arrested in New York City for robbery, oral sodomy, and sexual abuse on the complaint of a prostitute and her pimp.
Ew, oral sodomy?
Well, neither complainant appeared in further proceedings, however, and the case was dismissed. Of course, a prostitute and a pimp's not going to.
Right.
March 12th, 1974, Cottingham was arrested in New York City for robbery and unlawful imprisonment on the complaint of another prostitute.
All right, now we're getting a little, we're starting to...
Right. Once again, the victim did not appear in further proceedings, and the case was dismissed.
There's a little pattern going on here. That's what I was looking for.
Right. From 1977 to 80, he is claimed to have an affair with a woman named Barbara Lucas. Apparently, it didn't harm her, though. He could have sex with her, but not his wife.
Oh, wow.
Maybe that's why he didn't want to have sex with his wife.
Well, Cottingham, he claims to have started killing as an adolescent, and he's claimed to have killed as many as 100 women. He often sought sex workers in their late teens to mid-20s. He believed to have killed people in Florida, Connecticut, New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and also Baltimore. He would approach his victims in bars. He would drug them. He would take them to a remote location. He would bind, gag, torture, and then stab them to death. Nope, not to death. He would stab them before killing them by strangulation. Wow. Or asphyxiation. He took trophies like jewelry and other personal items belonging to his victims.
That's usually what they did.
Right, and you got some kind of, and he can tell you just look at that, and you're like, oh, Betty.
Right. Oh, Betty.
She was a fighter.
Sweet Betty.
She was a fighter. I almost let her go.
All right, let's go with kind of a timeline of his. This is what he's actually been convicted of. Later, we'll get to stuff that he confessed to in prison. Some maybe, and a lot investigators don't believe him on. But we'll get to the ones that he actually is known to do. Approximately 7 a.m. on the morning of December 16th, 1977.
One of the worst days in history.
The body of X-ray technologist Marianne Marzi Carr, who was 26 years old, was found between a park van and a chain-link fence in Little Ferry, New Jersey. She had been cut about the chest and legs, beaten with a blunt instrument, and covered in bites and bruises.
Oh, no. He left his bite marks?
You'll see he loved to do that. Her wrist showed marks from handcuffs, and her mouth had traces of adhesive tape. She had been strangled and suffocated by the adhesive tape.
Oh, wow.
She was still wearing her white nurse's uniform, but her shoes were missing. She was last seen December 15th in the parking lot of the Ledgewood Terrace Apartments, where Cottingham and his wife had previously resided.
Oh, shit. Cottingham kidnapped her from the apartment complex, took her to a Quality Inn, which was in Hasbrook Heights, New Jersey. Once she was inside, Cottingham beat, bit, slashed, and then raped her. She had been restrained and then strangled with a ligature. Really? Afterward, Cottingham dumped her in the parking lot of Quality Inn, not far from the Ledgewood Terrace Apartments. Carr exhibited handcuff-related bruises on her wrists, ankles, as well as remnants of adhesive tape on her mouth, which we just said.
Right. She lived.
She lived?
Yeah. You can get her.
Oh, wow.
22-year-old pregnant waitress Karen Schlitt met Cottingham 9 p.m. March 22nd, 1978. She had exited a 3rd Avenue bar and made her way back to her apartment. She was picked up by Cottingham and driven down Route 80 in New Jersey after being forced to ingest sleeping pills.
Oh, no.
Near the Ledgewood Terrace Apartments, in a parking lot, a patrolman had discovered her motionless body the following morning. She had been sexually assaulted by Cottingham, who abandoned her in a sewer with her breasts and genitalia exposed. And she also lived to tell the story.
Oh, shit. Oh, wow. Okay, then you got...
This is where it gets...
I wonder if you thought...
Nobody's living... Oh, wait. No, we got another liver.
I wonder if he thought they're dead or something, or just said, fuck it. Wow, and he's leaving so much evidence. Right. I've never seen that before. This is weird.
Before DNA.
19-year-old prostitute Susan Geiger was approached and propositioned by Cottingham on the night of the 10th of October 1978 in Manhattan. This was between Broadway and 7th Avenue on West 47th Street. Although Susan informed Cottingham that she had reservations for the remainder of the evening, she left with him her contact info at the Alpine Hotel. Well, that very next evening, Cottingham called her and said, hey, you want to go out on a date at about midnight? She's like, that's odd, but sure. He picked Susan up in his vehicle before plying her with a number of drug drinks. Susan would later awaken covered in her own blood in room 28 of the airport motel. This was in South Hackensack in New Jersey. She had been tortured by Cottingham, who injured her face, breasts, vagina, and also her rectum. Oh, she's just hurting all over the place. Also, he had beaten Susan multiple times with the garden hose and torn her gold earrings out of her ears. Damn, dude. He's probably just doing any... Wow. When you're drugged like that with those drug drinks, you probably don't know anything that's going on.
Well, she woke up sore, I bet you that. All right, this is the one that caught everybody's attention here. December 2nd, 1979, around 9 a.m., staff at the Travelodge Motor Inn in New York City called the fire department for they discovered significant smoke inside room 417.
Oh, shit.
A do not disturb sign was hanging from the door latch of the room, which had been rented by Carl Wilson since November 29th of the same year. So a couple days.
Yeah.
2 naked female bodies were discovered by the firefighters on 2 different beds. Prior to the deaths, the women were brutalized and their murderer burned their bodies.
Oh, my gosh. Damn, both women's hands had been severed. The killer also beheaded them. Holy shit. The missing body parts were never found. Later autopsy revealed that both women had been tortured and sexually assaulted while still alive for several days. Well, from the November 29th to...
Several.
Didi Gordarzi, 22 years old. She was an Iranian immigrant who worked as a prostitute, was identified shortly afterward. The other victim remains unidentified and is estimated to be aged between 16 and 22. They call her as the Manhattan Jane Doe. 2009 interview, Cottingham admitted to the murders. He claimed that he severed the heads and hands of the victims to prevent their identification. Well, it didn't work for one of them.
Right.
As he was acquainted with Gudarzi and had seen her with and hadn't been seen with her in a bar the night before. Oh,
Still, well, a 15-year veteran of the fire department in New York said he nearly had to undergo trauma counseling afterwards.
Oh.
He said, "I've never came across something like that. I hope I never do again."
Damn. Can you imagine opening a hotel room and it's smoking? It smells like
Burning flesh.
and then you walk over and there's no hands on 2 people and no heads.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Blood, like, literally everywhere.
Oh, my.
Well, the victim's clothing was found folded in the bathtub in 2 neat stacks with their platform shoes on top of each pile.
No.
Except for blood on the mattresses, the hotel room was remarkably free of any blood stains, fingerprints, or any other evidence. Whatever the killer used to dismember the bodies, he took it with him.
No fingerprints. Wow. Okay. 5th of May, year 1980. The body of Valerie Ann Street, 19 years old. She was also a sex worker. Found by a motel worker at the same Quality Inn where Cottingham had dumped Carr's body in Hasbrook Heights, New Jersey. Using an alias, Street checked into the room 132 with Cottingham, who killed her, stuffed her body under the bed for housekeeping to find. A cleaning woman was attempting to vacuum the floor under the bed, but something was jammed. Lifting up the mattress, she found a hideously disfigured corpse stuffed underneath the bed. You think you'd smell that?
Well, investigators discovered Street handcuffed and with 2 ligature marks on her throat. They also determined that she had been gagged with white adhesive tape. And we got a little pattern here, do we? Street had bite marks on her breasts, in addition to being bitten all over her body and head. She also had numerous minor knife incisions on her breast.
Right, you're just fucking around.
This is where he messes up, because 1 fingerprint belonging to Cottingham was recovered from the ratchet mechanism of the handcuffs left behind on Street.
Oh, shit.
But they,
Didn't know it was his yet?
if he's in the database, that is.
Right. Oh, he did got arrested.
That's true.
So he should be there. Oh, man, here we go. 12th of May, year 1980. Prostitute Pamela Weisenfeld found beaten up in a parking lot in Teaneck, New Jersey. According to the Popo and medical reports, Weisenfeld's attacker bit her multiple times. After meeting Cottingham, Pamela had been drugged and brutally beaten, suffering several injuries all over her body. After she was found, the Teaneck police took her to a hospital. Well, I hope they did.
She lives.
Look at you. Good for you, Teaneck.
All right. May 15th, 1980, Mary Ann Jean Rayner, age 25, was discovered at the Seville Hotel in New York. Investigators discovered that Rayner's attacker had cut her throat and removed both of her breasts. The murderer had left the breast on the headboard of the bed.
Oh, wow.
Jeez. Rayner's body had also been set on fire as part of the perpetrator's attempt to get rid of evidence. How are they not piecing these together right now?
Right. Holy shit. Early morning hours, 22nd of May.
This is where he fucks up.
1980, Cottingham picked up 18-year-old prostitute Leslie Ann Odell, who was soliciting on the corner of Lexington Avenue and 25th Street in Manhattan. They checked into the Hasbrook Heights Quality Inn at room 117. Cottingham offered to give Odell a massage, and she rolled onto her stomach. Straddling her back, he drew a knife and put it to her throat as he snapped a pair of handcuffs on her wrist. And then he began torturing her, nearly biting off one of her nipples.
Well, she later testified that he said, "You have to take it." The other girls did. "You have to take it too.
Oh.
You're a whore and you have to be punished."
Oh, shit.
At one point, Odell reached under the bed for a fake gun that Cottingham had threatened her with, thinking it was real, and attempted to shoot Cottingham with it.
Oh, wow.
When it did not fire, Cottingham came at her with the knife. She screamed, "Oh, God, no!" The screams brought motel employees to the room, and they summoned the police.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
Cottingham was indeed arrested in the hallway at gunpoint.
No shit.
When arrested, he had handcuffs, a leather gag, 2 slave collars, a switchblade knife, replica pistols, and a stockpile of prescription pills on him.
Damn. That dude's sloppy.
Right. He just didn't care.
Right. The charges listed in Cottingham's New Jersey indictment included kidnapping, attempted murder, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, aggravated sexual assault while armed, rape, aggravated sexual assault while armed, sodomy, aggravated sexual assault while armed, fellatio, possession of a weapon, which was a switchblade knife, and possession of a controlled substance, which were secarbarbital, amobarbital, and diazepam. April 1978, after his wife had initiated divorce proceedings, he kept a locked room in a basement apartment of the house in which they lived, which was in Lodi, New Jersey. Following his 1980 arrest, the Popo found in the locked room and in the trunk of his car personal effects, which they traced to several of his victims. Oh, man.
Jeez, guy. Well, August 14th, 1980, he was charged in New York City for 3 counts of homicide. September 15th, 1980, he was identified in a lineup by previous victims Susan Geiger and Karen Schlitt. September 17th, he was indicted on 21 counts in Bergen County, New Jersey as well. A trial on June 6th. I'm assuming when they arrested him, they finally linked him to all these crimes.
I'm guessing after they got the DNA off that one.
Right. At the trial, June 6th, he testified in his own defense, which is in New Jersey. He included details of his fascination with bondage ever since he was a child, but denied that he was into hurting others.
Oh.
He denied that he knew any of the women who claimed to be his victims, except for Leslie Odell, for which he was caught.
All right.
Can't deny her.
Like, he got me that time. Well, guess what? That didn't work out because he was convicted of 15 of the 20 counts on 11th of June. 4 days later, on the 15th, 1981, he attempted suicide. He drank 6 ounces of a liquid antidepressant at the Bergen County Jail.
Where is he getting this antidepressant from?
Right. Holy shit. 25th of July, year 1981, Cottingham sentenced to 173 to 197 years in prison. And they also fined him $2,350. On the 25th of February, year 1982, he collapsed while being escorted to a jail cell while awaiting Marianne Carr trial. He was later diagnosed with a duodenal ulcer. This resulted in a mistrial for the Carr case. What?
That doesn't matter because they tried him again for that very same case on October 4th, 1982.
Good.
When he attempted to, during the trial, he attempted to escape the courthouse but was quickly apprehended by authorities. October 12th, he was convicted in the Carr case, sentenced to 25 years to life. On October 15th, to be served consecutively with the other sentence. March 30th, 1983, he was removed from maximum security prison in Trenton to be transferred to the men's house of detention in Manhattan for the trial in New York. In August of 1980, for murdering Dita Godarzi, the Manhattan Jane Doe, and Jean Reiner. Cottingham again attempted suicide by slashing his left forearm with a razor in front of shocked jurors July 5th, 1984.
Oh, shit. No shit.
And was eventually convicted July 9th for all 3 charges. He was sentenced for an additional 75 years to life August 28, 1984.
This dude's got like 400 years in prison.
Yeah, he ain't never getting out.
Holy shit. After his initial convictions, Cottingham, he pleaded his innocence for decades, insisted that he had been framed.
Okay, guy.
Well, in 2009, he finally admitted that he actually perpetrated the 5 homicides. Year 2000, a detective in the Bergen County Prosecutor's Office, Robert Adzalati, he was tasked with reviewing a series of cold cases from the 60s and 70s. Well, he believed that Cottingham, between his history and the suspicions of detectives that came before me, that's what he said. He goes, I believe that Cottingham could be responsible for one or more of these crimes. And so he began to interview Cottingham from 2003 on. Well, in the year 2010, Cottingham pled guilty to 1967 murder. Well, look at this guy. Then in exchange for immunity from prosecution, like it matters.
Right.
Starting in 2014, Cottingham confessed to murdering 3 teenage girls as well. Oh, my. You think he's lying, though?
Why would he?
Or he probably did it.
He might have. There are some...
He knows he ain't getting out, so he might as well make up some stories.
Right. Well, the BCPO exceptionally closed the 3 cold case murders with agreement from the victims' families and evidence corroborating the confessions, but for several years kept this secret from the public to keep Cottingham talking about other cases.
Right.
December 2019, forensic historian and author Peter Vronsky, which was on the eve of publishing the revelation in his second edition of Serial Killers, The Method and Madness of Monsters. He publicized the confessions with the BCPO's cooperation.
Oh, look at that.
Ancelotti and the BCPO subsequently confirmed the exceptional closures of the 3 murders.
Okay, so I mean, they're just happy they get to close some cold cases.
Right.
April 2021, Cottingham confessed to an unsolved 1974 double homicide, which was in Montvale, one of New Jersey's most notorious cold cases.
Oh, or is he doing it now?
The confession was extracted by Ancelotti weeks before his retirement. It was facilitated by Vronsky and by Jennifer Weiss, which was the daughter of Dita Godarzi. Vronsky and Weiss had been meeting with Cottingham in prison since the spring of 2017. They were trying to counsel him to make the confession. They're like, come on, buddy, buying a McDonald's and shit or whatever. March 2023, Ancelotti elicited another confession from Cottingham. Guess what? You guessed it. Murder of 17-year-old who vanished in 1967.
Yep, that 17-year-old would be Mary Ann Della Sala, who disappeared at the end of her shift at 9 p.m. on January 24th, 1967, from a ShopRite store at 330 Essex Streets in Hackensack, New Jersey.
Son of a bitch.
Her body was then found 3 months later, April 20th, in the Passaic River in Hawthorne, New Jersey. She had been strangled. The police concluded that she was killed elsewhere and then thrown into the river. There was no sign of sexual assault on this one, though. Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
this is 67, so this would have been one of his first, so maybe he's not into that yet.
Right, we don't know. Another victim, Nancy Shiava Vogel, they call her Buddy.
Or Bubby.
They call her Bubby. 29-year-old married mother of 2, found dead in her automobile, bound and naked. This was in Ridgefield Park, New Jersey, on the 30th of October, 1967. She had been last seen 3 days earlier in Little Ferry when she left home to play bingo with friends at a local
fucking
church.
bingo, dude.
Damn
Breaking
it.
families apart.
Well, instead, Vogel chose to do her shopping in a mall in Bergen County. Cottingham had met Vogel at the shopping center, kidnapped her, took her to a field in Montvale, strangled her there. Vogel and Cottingham were acquaintances, and he was convicted of her murder on the 25th of August, year 2010.
Jacqueline Leah Harp, known as Jackie, age 13.
Oh, no.
Vanished July 17, 1968 in Midland Park, New Jersey, after she failed to come home from band rehearsal at her school.
Son of a bitch.
The next morning, July 18th, her body was discovered at Goffle Brook. She had been beaten about the face and had been strangled with a leather strap from her flag sling.
Jeez.
Police believe the attack was sexually motivated, despite the fact that she had not been raped since her clothes were in disarray. Cottingham claimed that he attempted to persuade Harp to get into his car, but she resisted. He then drove his car in front of Harp, stopped, and walked over to her. Cottingham caught up to her despite her attempts to flee, dragged her into a cluster of bushes, and then killed her.
Jeez. You're a little young there, bud. Holy shit. Irene Blass, 18 years old, reported missing 7th April 1969. Well, the very next day, she was discovered face down in 4 feet of water in Saddle River, which is in New Jersey. She was strangled with the chain from a crucifix she was wearing.
It's a hell of a chain.
Cottingham confessed that he saw Blaze shopping in Hackensack, New Jersey, and convinced her to join him for a drink. Taking a cab to another location, Cottingham and Blaze, they spent some time together, after which Cottingham offered to bring her back to the bus station. I can take you back to the bus station. He then drove her to a remote location against her will. He took her to the bus station, all right. Raping and killing her in a remote location. Jeez.
July 13th, 1969, approximately 8 p.m., Denise Falaska, age 15, left her residence in Bergen Line Avenue in Closter, New Jersey, on her way to meet friends in Westwood, New Jersey. Well, 11 p.m., Denise was scheduled to be back home, but she never arrived. At around 9 p.m., witnesses claimed to have seen Denise heading along Old Hook Road in Emerson in the direction of Westwood.
Okay.
Her body was found on the side of Westminster Place in Saddlebrook, New Jersey, July 14th.
Son of a bitch.
Falaska, according to Cottingham, was walking down the side of the road in Emerson when he pulled up next to her and offered her a ride. Well, shortly after, he drove to the parking lot of his former school, where he forced her to perform oral sex on him.
Oh, wow.
Dissatisfied with her sexual inexperience, he murdered her.
Oh, shit. 9th of August, 1974. Lorraine Mary Kelly, 16 years old, and Mary Ann Pryor, 17 years old. left North Bergen, New Jersey, with plans to go shopping at the Garden State Plaza in Paramus. Kelly's boyfriend left the two off at a bus stop on Broad Street in Ridgefield. They intended to hitchhike from there. Their bodies were found on August 14th in a wooded location close to the Ridgemont Gardens complex in Montvale, New Jersey. Naked, bound one another at the wrists, ankles, and while laying face down next to each other. Both had been beaten and raped. Ligature marks on their necks suggested that they had likely been strangled too. Both also had cigarette burns on their flesh. Well, first of that.
Can't be spilling that paint in the garage.
Cottingham was convicted of both of their murders 27th of April, 2021. In court, Cottingham admitted to kidnapping the girls and then tying them up and raping them both in the motel room. He said he killed them by drowning them in the bathtub.
Jeez. August 26, 2022, with a non-prosecution agreement, officials in Rockland County, New York, corroborated and accepted Cottingham's confession to the 1970 murder of 26-year-old Lorraine McGraw. Cottingham's additional confession to a 1974 murder was discounted by Rockland County Police.
Oh.
June of 2022, he was arraigned from his prison hospital bed for the 1968 murder of Diane Cusick. Authorities believed it to be, thus far, the oldest criminal case to be solved and prosecuted by direct DNA evidence.
Oh, no shit.
He pleaded guilty in a court appearance December 5th and also officially admitted killing 4 other women during 72 and 73 in Long Island, who were Mary Beth Hines, Laverne Moy, Sheila Hyman, and Maria Emerita Rosado Nieves.
Holy shit, this guy. Well, let's take a look at the aforementioned Diane Martin Cusick, who was 23 years old. She was a Long Island dance teacher, found dead on 16th of February, 1968. The back seat of her car, which was a 1961 Plymouth Valiant, outside the Green Acres Mall in Valley Stream, New York. She had adhesive tape around her mouth and neck. She had been beaten, raped, and strangled. Her hands had defense wounds as well. DNA from semen discovered at the crime scene was extracted. It matched a sample retrieved from Cottingham. Near the Green Acres Mall, there was a drive-in theater that Cottingham frequently went to. Authorities, they believe that he approached Cusick while pretending to be a mall security guard.
Jeez. Well, March 1st, 1970, a group of hikers came across a young woman's naked body in the woods to the west of Tweed Boulevard in South Nyack, New York. The victim had marks around her neck indicating she had been strangled. The FBI soon identified her as Lorraine Monteval McGraw, age 26, who lived in Long Island. She'd been missing since February 27, 1970. McGraw had a history of drug and prostitution offenses. Many of them were listed under false names. August 26, 2022, Cottingham confessed to murdering her.
Oh, son of a bitch. This guy. Well, then we got the body of Mary Beth Hines, which is 21 years old, discovered on the 10th of May in 1972 near a creek in Rockville Center, New York. She had cuts on her face and the neck from being strangled. Hines experienced grand mal seizures, had been diagnosed with epilepsy. She vanished on the 5th of May as she boarded a bus to travel to a nearby dance. He claimed to have thrown her body from Rockville Center's Peninsula Boulevard Bridge. Holy shit. I just tossed her off the bridge.
Laverne Moy, age 23, of St. Albans, Queens, was discovered in a Rockville Center Creek July 20th, 1972. She had been killed by strangulation as well. Cottingham claimed that he had thrown her body off the same bridge where he had previously dumped Hines' body.
Jeez, oh, Peters.
Then we got Sheila Hyman, age 33, was found bludgeoned and stabbed to death in her home.
Wow.
In North Woodmere, New York, July 20th, 1973. When her husband returned after a trip to a department store that morning, he discovered her dead in the master bathroom.
Oh, fuck.
None of the rooms outside of the bathroom showed evidence of a struggle, and none of Hyman's neighbors reported anything strange around the time of her death.
Really?
So how the hell did you get it?
Right. Son of a bitch. 18-year-old Maria Emerita Rosada Nieves, which was a native of Puerto Rico, found dead in Wantagh, New York on 27th of December, 1973. She was found strangled to death in a wooded area close to a bus stop on Ocean Parkway. She was discovered by a park maintenance personnel, she was wrapped in a gray blanket and covered in plastic bags.
Jeez.
Damn.
These are all shit he's admitted since he's been behind bars, by the way. October 7th, 1974, 15-year-old Lisa Thomas left her home and walked to the Nanuet Mall at 3:30 p.m., intended to buy a blouse. About 700 feet from the Nanuet, New York home, Thomas's body, was found by her father the following morning in the woods behind the mall.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Thomas was blindfolded with a crimson rag that she had in her purse, and her head had been bashed in.
No, that's a hell of a thing for a father to find.
She had not been sexually assaulted, though. August 26, 2022, Cottingham admitted to killing both her and McGraw. Despite his confession, the investigation into her death is still ongoing, as he was not charged with the crime. This is because authorities did not agree with or take Cottingham's statements regarding Thomas seriously. Yeah, at this point, who knows what he's claiming.
Damn. Son of this guy. Cottingham's case has been discussed in several books and documentaries on serial killers. 2 of them focus entirely on him, which was Rod Leith's The Prostitute Murders, The People vs. Richard Cottingham, which was in 1983. And also Crime Scene, The Times Square Killer, which is on Netflix in 2021.
Watch that one. I don't know if we'll be able to show those pictures on YouTube because we'll probably get age restricted, but you watch that documentary, they'll show you it all.
He was also featured in a 2-hour special episode of People Magazine Investigates entitled The Times Square Killer. This was on the Investigation Discovery Channel in the year of 2023. Cottingham's subsequent prison confessions to cold case murders were the focus of the 2-part The Torso Killer Confessions, which was on Hulu in 2023. Denise Velasco's murder is the focus of the podcast.
We don't care.
Denise didn't come home in 2024.
That's a sick son of a bitch.
Yeah, that's rough. Son of a bitch. And then he gets to rot his way in prison when he should.
For no reason at all, just to do it.
None.
That's because he was a sick son of a bitch and liked watching them be tortured and got off on it. You know,
some rough shit right
that
there.
dude's still rotting in prison like a fucking. I mean, it's just sad. Put a bullet between his fucking eyes. How about that? Well, that'll do it for us in this episode of Outlaws Gunslingers Serial Killer Edition. We'll be back next week for the first episode of November, which is going to be all about. We're going to start a new Mafia family, guys. All right, we got
which one?
Look forward to the next year, all about the Lucchese crime family.
The Lucchese. Oh no, that means we gotta go all the way back to
the old timers again.
Bitch.
Yeah, Lucchese. And yeah, that'll be the first of the month. Then we still got a couple more Hell's Angels episodes.
First of the month.
And then we still got a bunch of remastered and a bunch of serial killers. So, coming into the new year, coming into the new year hot as well.
Feeling hot.
You go check out our YouTube at Bang Dang Network, where you can get this podcast plus our Battles of the American Civil War, which is wrapping up. The actual battle part of it, and then we'll be profiling,
styling and profiling.
We'll be profiling some generals and some famous people of the war, giving a more in-depth look at those guys.
Or
so
just the Civil War era altogether, maybe.
Got to be involved with the Civil War, clearly. Then, yeah, we'll see you next week for the Lucchese family. We'll see you then. We are the Mother Michigan as we
Bang dang.